Hi everyone, how are you? It's me again, Call, hailing from Singapore here. Today I'm going to tell you about an upgrade that I did to my bike 3 weeks ago, which is a new pair of carbon wheels. These wheels came from a company called Yoeleo, and I bought them from the Yoeleo Singapore distributor, Infinite Labs. And today we're going to focus on 3 areas of the wheel. First up, I'm going to give you a close-up shots of the wheel, which I have been ridden 3 weeks now, about 662 kilometers in the Singapore riding conditions, both day and night, both dry and wet. Okay? And second, we're going to talk about the braking performance. Like how well is this carbon wheel brake versus alloy. And the last one, basically we're going to talk about when you buy Yoeleo wheel, what options are there in terms of different models and different combinations within the same model. Okay, so let's zoom in. So here's the shot for the rear view. As you can see that the wheel is still in top-notch conditions. There are some marks on the braking track, which is expected as part of the wear and tear. It's not as shiny as before, but that is just the way it is. The wheel is still in a really good conditions after almost 600-700 kilometers. And here is the shot for the front wheel. It just looked excellent. Alright, after the close-up view of both of these carbon wheels, I can tell you that these 2 wheels here still in extremely good conditions even after 600 or 700 kilometers of mileage on them. They still just looks as good. So they are, whatever they say about the carbon wheel that has no brand or not branded, that comes from China, you will get the wheel will be broken in 1 or 2 rides. It is not true at all. It still comes rock solid even after 662 kilometers of rides. So the next things I want to talk about is the braking performance. Everyone who considering upgrading from an alloy to a carbon wheel, they're always worried about whether the carbon wheels still brake as good as the alloy. So after riding for 3 weeks on this wheel, I must say that you just need to adapt to the way the wheel brakes. Yeah. So you give yourself enough distance. You just have to brake a little bit earlier to make sure that you have enough rolling distance to come to a stop. And the person who installed this wheel was the Yoeleo distributor here in Singapore that did an excellent job by setting up the brake pad that comes with the wheel into a towing positions that it just brake without any squeaking sound. It just brake really, really smoothly. And all you need to do is just give yourself enough distance to roll to a stop. On a dry day, this is completely not an issue at all. On a wet day is where you need to be a little bit more careful to make sure that you brake earlier. And one way of controlling the braking is my personal habit is I always alternate both front and rear brake as you go. But then this will really gives you enough resistance to stop, and yet try not to burn through the wheel, because as you brake, it's really a high temperature surface down here. So overall, I'm really satisfied with the braking performance, no issue at all, and it's a thumbs up for that. Okay, so the next topic we're going to talk about is basically if you decided to go for one of these Yoeleo wheels, what options do you have? First thing, usually when people go for carbon wheel, they will consider the rim depth, like what kind of depth should I go for. And there are 4 options, 38, 50, 60 and 88. So personally, I think the C50 is an excellent choice because of the rim depth versus the Singapore conditions. I think it cuts through the wind really well, and it gives you the lightweight as you need to go through some of the steep hill like Mount Faber, like the NTU loop. So the usual cyclists in Singapore, you will know what I'm talking about. So I think the C50 is just perfect for Singapore. So for those who want a little bit more in terms of the depth, you can always go with the 60 mm, and then maximum, I've seen some rider has put 88 mm at the rear wheel as well. So the next thing you will need to decide is what hub you want to pair with the wheel, and there are 4 options. They have the standard edition, which comes with a Novatec hub, and then you have the Superlight editions, which come with the Yoeleo Superlight hub, and then you have the other 2, which is DT Swiss 350 and DT Swiss 240, which is the top end model. I have decided with the DT Swiss 350 hub. These hubs are just brilliant. They roll really smooth, and it comes with our 18-tooth ratchets, which is a bit entry level, but I think 36 will be nice. But you know, it's just personal preference really. And then the next thing is the distributor has paired the hub with different type of spoke. Obviously, as you go with a more high-end model, you have this high performance spoke, and these spokes are there to keep the wheel through. And after almost 700 kilometers of riding, the wheel are still just as good. So I have read a lot of comment from the internet saying that these non-branded Chinese carbon wheel, they will go out of shape after a couple of rides, and you know, they will not last. They are crappy. But I'm telling you, these Yoeleo wheels, they are still 100% dead true after almost 700 kilometers of rides here in Singapore, and they just perform so well. You know, on my 5-year-old road bike. You know, these wheels are just excellent choice, very value for money. You can check out the Yoeleo Singapore distributor Infinite Labs Facebook page. They have lots of good review there, and you know, these wheels are just brilliant.